Perfect.
All right, well, thank you everybody for joining this edition of our Thought Leaders series. It's a series that we started as a management company, really for our board of directors to let them know that there's a little bit more happening at our corporate office and some initiatives that we have behind the scenes that help our property managers be more effective and help you be more effective as a board member within your community. Tonight, I'm excited about this particular presentation because at this time, the majority of our clients have already had their annual meetings for this particular annual meeting season. Many of the annual meetings occur between November and the end of January. We still have a few coming up in February, but really the majority of our clients have been through that at this time. And one of the really important things that we like to emphasize as a company is how to use our board portal through our Vantaca software, because there's so much information available to you 24/7 in real time. And it's really important that you have that for the successfulness of your role within the community and to be up to speed with your homeowners when they have questions. I'll do a couple of introductions. And first of all, I just wanted to introduce Shari Hopkins. You can go to the next slide, Shari. Shari is our Vice President of Corporate Operations. We are incredibly lucky to have Shari as a part of our team. She plays a huge role in our organization, not only from a corporate operations standpoint, overseeing our entire customer service department and transitions team, as well as working hand in hand with our accounting team members as well. But Shari builds out the back end of the Vantaca software for the success of your community. She customizes the CCNRs and some of the action items that are associated with the day-to-day operations. Shari is a Vantaca super user. That's a title that Vantaca gives to some of their clients, and us being one of them, that really have a deep understanding of their software and provide input on how to improve the system. Shari participates in the annual conferences and also with their consulting team on different ways that they can improve things or action items that we can build out as a management company. Beacon's been using the Vantaca software, I believe, since about mid-2018, and one of the first companies in the Atlanta market to be on the system. So Shari has led that with Beacon Management Services from the beginning and just really understands how to use the program. I'm Michael Dubas. I'm the Chief Executive Officer at Beacon. And my role is really to make sure that our managers have the support and the tools and resources that they need in order to be successful for you at the board of director level, as well also as providing the accurate information to the homeowners and really managing the property. Vantaca is essential for them when they're out in the field, both looking at work orders, architectural action items, and violations, of course, through the community if it's a single family home or a townhome. Where that's truly important. And also, now that you're on the board, I wanted to cover a couple of the responsibilities that the officers of the board have. So, Shari, if you go to the next slide, just a quick overview of the different roles that the officers have. If you've already had your annual meeting, you likely had an organizational meeting following that where officers were nominated of those homeowners that were elected to the board and selected. So the president's role is really the CEO of the association and responsible for driving the agenda and presiding over the board meetings. The president is typically the primary point of contact for the property manager, really assist on the day-to-day action items to keep the agenda moving. So if there's projects or if there's particular initiatives, the president should really be driving that amongst the other board members, as well as working with the property manager to execute on that. The vice president is really a supporting role to the president, and in the absence of the president would fill in. And then, of course, the president and the vice president could work together on different larger tasks. Maybe one works on projects, one can work on landscaping, or however that might be divided up per the president's direction. The treasurer is an incredibly important role because you're responsible for all of the financials of the community, overseeing the books and making sure that they're presented to the homeowners in a way that it's easy for them to understand. It's really important for the treasurer to have a good knowledge base of the association financials, because everyone's money is typically can lead to emotions and everything else. It's really important that you're presenting it through a leadership standpoint of accurate financial position and what the future looks like. The secretary is responsible for really keeping all the books or records of the homeowners for the association. So mailing addresses, current owners, email addresses, phone numbers, etc. And is also an important role in keeping the minutes for all of the board meetings and annual meetings and making sure that those are recorded properly so that the homeowners have that. I think a good thing to say at this point is, you as a board have delegated a lot of these duties, which your bylaws allow you to do, to the management company in order to oversee the day-to-day. So in your roles, think of it more of a higher level, kind of a visionary, and then the management company is there to execute your vision. So you should be prepared to make the decisions for us to deliver on. So as a important role, you need to see information in a particular way that makes sense to you so that you can be responsible to your homeowners. Vantaca allows you to do that. Shari's going to walk us through board action items that really see the day-to-day that's going on with the community and cue you as a board member to respond at the appropriate time to streamline the process. So whether that's through ARC requests or through work orders, or maybe a particular violation that you need to have some insight on, all of that information is available to you on the homeowner portal in real time. So Shari will walk us through that momentarily. Another really important thing that I see is the reporting tools. The reporting features allow for variable date ranges, which allows you to see information for a time period that might be important for you and sort that specific data to the item that you need. So maybe it's a particular GL code if you're the treasurer. Maybe it's a particular violation type or step if you're looking at that from a board president standpoint. So it's really great reporting features. And then one of the great things about the reports as well is that all of the reports, almost all of the reports, have a summary with a pie chart that breaks down, for example, the type of work order and the volume of work orders that you might see within a community, and then the steps of those work orders. Same for violations and for accounts receivable as well. Some of that information is privileged, but those summaries and charts allow you to present the information to your homeowners in a way that they understand what's happening in the community and the type of things that you're working on. So without anything further, I'll pass it on to Shari, who will walk us through the board portal.
Perfect. Thank you, Mike. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Again, I'm Shari Hopkins, Vice President of Corporate Operations. Hopefully you can see my screen, which is just a display of your owner dashboard. Where I'm going to start off is, whether you're a new board member or existing board member, everyone has access to these menu options right here. I'm not going to go into too much detail of these because as homeowners, you should have access to these menu options. I will go over specific menus that affect you as a board. So the first thing I kind of want to go over, first of all, is important information for the dashboard. Just so you know, Vantaca is to some extent customizable for your association. So we do try to put important information. Maybe you have an annual meeting coming up, pool opening days, anything like that can be added to your owner dashboard so your homeowners see that immediately as they sign into the portal. I'm going to focus on these board actions as board members and what you have access to. So the first menu option you have is homeowners. This is going to be something that's a little bit more detailed than your normal homeowner directory. This gives you full access to see what we as the management company see. You get to see homeowners' names, their property address, their mailing address, email address, as much information that we have on file for those homeowners, you can see it. Things I want to point out too is whenever you see those three dots on any kind of menu option or column, you are able to add as many columns as you want or take away as many columns as you want. So usually we try to add information like, for instance, their unit number. Maybe you're in the condos and you want to sort it by unit number, you can do that. Maybe I don't want to see their mailing address, I can take that away. So you can take away and add as many columns as you want. Other things I want to kind of highlight, you can always export to Excel anytime you have any kind of like grid or column page like this. You can also save your grid settings. You can save it how you like, you can reset it to how it was originally. So if I reset, it goes back to adding that mailing address. Before I get any further, there is going to be a question and answer session after I go through this. You can type your questions as you go. There's going to be some times where I probably answer the question for you, but you can use that Q&A button at the bottom to ask any questions as we go. We have Mike and Kristen as panelists also that will kind of guide me if I need to slow down, if I need to go back over something, but I'll try and address as much questions as possible at the end of the session. So going back to this homeowner grid, we also have an option where we have owner tags. We usually try to add owner tags for condos or townhome communities that are maybe in stacks or in buildings. And what that allows us to do is to kind of identify all owners that are in building C. Maybe there's one shut off for that building only. We can identify those homeowners only and then communicate specifically to them. That helps us kind of cut down on the communication that goes out. Someone who lives in building A doesn't really need to know if building E's water is going to be shut off for 4 hours. Another feature with this homeowner list is actually clicking on the homeowner's account. That will allow you to see more detailed information for that homeowner. You get to see what action items or tasks or tickets, we call them, is open for that homeowner. You get to see their balance. You can go and click on transactions and see their actual account history, the charges, the payments that they've made. You get to see their property information, what we have as their mailing address and any contact information we have. Again, at the top, you can click back to go back to that list. And right there again will be your homeowner list. At the bottom, you can sort how many items per page. I usually try to go to the max just so I can see everything on one page. This is our test association, smarter, not harder. So the information in here is not real, but we play around just to kind of get real information to our homeowners. The next menu option you have is your ARC menu. This will allow you to see any opened or previously closed ARC applications. Not all associations use this feature, but for those that do, it is very helpful. You get to see when an application comes in from the customer service portal, immediately when they get that and what step it's on, meaning what step of the process is it currently on. Again, I've gone over these column options where you can add columns or take some away. But another couple things I want to go over to is when you see a paperclip, that means you're able to view an attachment. Whenever you see an eyeball, that means you're able to look in more depth of that action item. And if you have these 3 dots, that means you have the responsibility of approving or denying this application. So I'm going to click on the eyeball for this application. And I see that the request came in. It originally, I get to see the history of it and see that it's currently on my task for me to review. I'm going to click on the paperclip, and in another window, I get to see the application that the homeowner submitted. Whenever there's numerous applications or attachments, you can click down to see how many attachments are included in this file, or you can just click next, and it will show you the next image. Maybe it's a picture of the fence that this homeowner wants to submit. Maybe it's their plat drawings. Maybe it's the proposal they received from the contractor. Just make sure that you always click down to see how many attachments are included in this application.
One thing that do you have that in another panel that opened?
Oh, are you not seeing?
No, it didn't pop up, but if you have that where it can show up as well, I think that'd be good.
Okay, got it. Let me see.
And there was a question in the Q&A of what is the ARC. The ARC request is an architectural modification. So anything on the exterior of the home or in a condo, it could be the interior of the home. If you're, painting or redoing your floor, et cetera, you would want an application to be submitted so that we could track that through the homeowner portal.
Correct. Awesome. So can you see the screen now, Mike, where you see the attachment, the application?
Yeah, we see that now.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, let me just show you what I did again. I clicked on the paperclip and it opened it up in another screen. There's my application. I click down right there and I see I have a picture of a fence. I can click on that and I see that the fence this is the type of fence that they want. I can go back, clicking previous to go back to the application. In a perfect world, everything was submitted. And so now I want to have the ability to approve this request. I want to make a note that only the ARC chair, which is usually one appointed person, has the ability to approve or decline. Anyone that's listed on the ARC committee will be able to see these applications, but we give that sole responsibility to one person to come in and approve or decline it, just so we know there's a voting going on. If you guys want as a board to vote within the portal, you're more than welcome to. You just send a message to the ARC committee and you just say, I approve. If you wanted to request more information from the homeowner, again, you have that option to type a new message and send it directly to the homeowner, or you can send it to our customer support team to reach out to that homeowner if you wanted to and say, more information. Proposal. Maybe this is high importance because we want to get it approved. We can send that message and it will go straight to the homeowner right there. So as the ARC chair, if you want to approve, you have two options. You will have to approve or approve with conditions. Maybe your conditions are, it needs to be stained a certain color. You can put that information right there. Or if it's approved as is, you have that option. To decline, we have two options. It's just denied. It's not allowed, maybe above the ground pool or an outhouse or a garden, whatever it may be, we can deny those. Or we just simply need more information in order to make this decision. So we're gonna close out that ARC and it's fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and approve this. And what this is gonna do is send our customer service team an action item that said it has been approved. And what they're gonna do is automatically notify the homeowner, both by email and letter, letting them know their application has been approved. Maybe a homeowner called in and says, I got a violation for a fence, but you guys approved for it. What's going on? You as a board can go into closed and see previous ARC applications that have been submitted. Whether they've been approved or denied, you can go back by clicking that eyeball or the attachments to see why exactly that application was denied or approved. For this one, it was approved that this homeowner can paint their house pink. And you'll also get to see a copy of that letter that was sent to that homeowner, allowing them to do that. So we keep track of all of that information. In the case of you leaving Beacon for whatever reason, all of this information is being extracted and given to the next management company, so they have a record of all of this information. It is not Beacon's information, it is the association's information, so we are able to extract the pictures, the letters, the communication, and get that over to the new management company. But again, this information is at your fingertips under the ARC menu.
Shari, if I can just make a comment really quick. It's important to know that you as a board member or for your architectural committee, that anytime you put anything in that message box, it's going to be visible to the homeowner because it's actually linked to their homeowner account. So for example, you might not say what poor taste in paint color. You might say that is not an approved paint color. They're going to be able to see that information. So just keep that in mind. If you are communicating via the portal as an ARC committee, that communication is going to be visible to the homeowners. And that's pretty much typical across all of the action items that are going to be tied to an individual owner's account.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.
And then a quick tip on if you go to any closed action items, it's always good while it's on the open tab to type in anything under the different columns that you might be searching. So where the little filter funnel is, if you type in fence, like Shari has there, it'll only select the queue for fence. Some of our larger homeowner associations might, have 100 closed ARC applications, and it'll take a really long time to filter all that. So if you type in what you're looking for before hitting the close tab, it'll help you get the information a little bit quicker.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike. And that goes for any page that you're on that has the columns. You're able to specifically search on those columns. Okay, so let's go to collections. Collections, you'll be able to see just basically where we are in the collection process for any delinquent homeowner, whether it's their first notice, a past due notice, meaning they just missed their first payment 15 days later, or we're ready to send them over to the attorney or collections account agency. If it's under account review, that means it's just pending for you and your manager to get together to say, do we want to turn these over officially to whether it's Lizega or Looter, or if you use Alliance. Those are those accounts that have gotten now 3 notices of this balance. And now we want to get them turned over so we can get some action on them. You are able, again, to click on attachments and see all the communication that was sent to that homeowner. Right there, you will see it's titled kind of the document that gets sent. So whether it's a statement or a final notice, you get to see all of that information right there that is being sent to the homeowner. If you want to look into a little bit more depth, you can by clicking on the eyeball. It's always going to have the homeowner's name on the right, their account number, their property address, and then you'll see where their current balance is. This is something good to always go back to if you want to go back to that homeowner list and look and see, okay, what makes up that $3,975? Going to that homeowner list will help you to do that. So I'm just going to copy this account number and go to the homeowner list. Again, using those boxes, I'm going to filter, so I'm just going to paste it right there. And right there comes, of course, it's my account. It's going to come up right there. I can click on my account. And now I can go to transactions and I can see what makes up that balance. So I can see that there's assessments and late fees being charged. With this specific unit, I have probably 2 accounts merged together. So it's telling me that I have a total of $3,900 for the 2 accounts that I actually own. So that's another thing to look. If you wanted to see a homeowner that owns more than 1 unit, just search by their names. And right there, I see I have 2 accounts. I can scroll over. I can look at my balances. I might have a what is it called? Bankruptcy account that maybe that balance is also made up of. So those are the little details that if you're just wondering what makes up that homeowner's balance, coming back to that homeowner's list and clicking into their account and seeing what makes up those charges helps a lot. So you get some detail of what that is made up of. I think that's it for the collections, and we'll go through the collections report and what that looks like a little bit later. Invoices. On the invoices menu, you are able to see any open or previously paid invoices that are currently pending for your association. So currently we have an invoice for Testy Testerson for trash, their February trash. Again, clicking on the paperclip opens up a copy of the invoice. So I get to see the invoice right there. It's for $100. Now this is just telling me that I look right there, the step, it is just waiting for the manager to approve that invoice. Another thing that I'll always suggest is opening up your, adding additional columns. Right there, I can see that it's going to go to your GL account, which is meaning your budgeted account for $54.25. So this is for your trash removal. This is going to that expense account. This is very important for your monthly financials, making sure that it is coded to the right GL account or expense account, just so you have accurate financials and keeping on budget. Going to closed, you can see previously paid invoices. So for this one, I only have one. If this vendor was paid via check, I would be able to see a copy of the check. For security reasons, we do block out routing number and account number and the signature, just so no one can copy or print this check. This is just showing that a check was mailed to that vendor. Now, if it was paid ACH or maybe auto draft, you will not see an actual check, but that's okay. We know that it got paid because it was marked as paid right there.
And Shari, do you mind going in and looking at this particular invoice or an open invoice and kind of showing us what it looks like from a steps process from behind the scene?
Yeah.
Maybe through the messages feature.
Absolutely. So just so everyone knows how our process for invoices come in, they do come in through our system multiple ways, whether the manager enters it into Vantaca, they send it to our payables email, which is payables@beaconmanagementservices.com, or they mail it into our lockbox, which is in Wilmington, North Carolina. It first goes to, this one I manually added, so it's in my queue immediately. It usually goes through a process where the Vantaca reads like the association name, the vendor, the account number, the amount, and kind of autofills that information for the manager. Once it passes this manager's queue, I am going to, let me see. When it passes the manager's queue, it then goes to our AP team. Our AP team then reviews what the manager has put in, making sure we have enough money or funds in the bank account. And then it goes to the final queue or signature approval, whatever it may be, to get out the door. So.
And I just want to highlight that, Shari, you know, for you as a treasurer or a board president or any board member really looking at this, you have access to that information in real time and you're able to see that step of the process. Another really great thing is if you're the treasurer and you're reviewing the invoices and you're in that queue, you can look at those recent invoices for that same vendor and be able to see, okay, what did we pay them before and what's currently up there for that particular vendor. That's really helpful. We use that internally when we're improving invoices. If we've got any questions, and it's a really great way to just quickly search other invoices paid to the same vendor.
Correct. So of course, this is test information. So that is why you see all those voids. In reality, we would not have that many voids. Reasons for us voiding invoices is if it's an actual duplicate or if it comes in as a statement, meaning statements usually have multiple invoices listed. We try to pay individual invoices just for better record keeping than paying off of statements. So again, clicking on that recent invoices, you will see any invoice that has come in under that specific vendor. Right now, I've approved this as the manager, so now it's waiting for our AP team to approve that. And once they do, it will then move into the paid screen. Next, we are going to go over the violations menu.
Sorry, one more thing on the invoices, because I know this is really important for our clients. If you can go back to the invoices again. Another great thing, and I'll just point it out again, but under that service provider, if you simply click on the word service provider, it's going to alphabetically order all of the service providers. So you'll see all of the invoices for a particular person stacked together. As Shari showed you, you can sort them ascending or descending, and you can also type that information in or a particular amount or a GL code. So it's really quick to get real-time information for yourself if you're in the portal looking for this stuff. It's just really a great feature of Vantaca for our board members.
Absolutely. And again, these are the other columns that you're able to add. I always suggest just clicking all of them, see what's useful for you as whether it's a treasurer, president, whatever it may be, and then save your grid settings. So every time you come in, Vantaca is set up exactly how you like it. You don't have to go searching too much because the columns that you're gonna use are already there. So saving that grid settings really helps you minimize a lot of like tweaking stuff when you first log in. Again, you can always export to Excel. If you want to just kind of do some kind of audit, you're more than welcome to do that. All right, thanks, Mike, on that. So we're going to go over to the violation screen. As a board member, you're able to see any open or closed violations. So we know that we have a duty to go out to the association maybe twice a month. You'll able to see how long violations have been opened. Again, adding those columns help. Created dates, or maybe created time is the one. Well, that will help, meaning that was when that violation was initially opened. So I'm gonna go over here. Right here, we see all of these violations when they have been opened. We are able to search by the violation type. So maybe I want to see all open parking violations. I can click on that and search by those. This is going to show you the notice that they're on, their first notice or their second notice or fining, whatever it may be. Information that you get to see also is the homeowner's address and then what was sent to the homeowner. So again, you can click on the paperclip to see a copy of that letter that was sent. If this was done through an inspection with a property manager on site, usually there's going to be an image of what the violation is for. We try to capture as many images as possible. I'm trying to see if we have an example of one. There we go. You get to see a copy of the letter that got sent to the homeowner. Of course, it's dated, and any further communication. You also get to see a copy of the picture specifically, maybe zoomed in to see exactly what it's for. Going to go into more details, opening that up. Maybe I want to send a message to customer service. I noticed that this homeowner did remove their car. Hey, I'm the board president. I'm telling you this can be closed out. I want to attach a picture of it showing that it has been done. I can do that. And this is something that the homeowners are able to do from their end also. Under their My Items, if a homeowner is issued a violation, they can also respond to us, telling us, no, it has been completed. We usually like to have images uploaded so we can close it out and have record of that. Or of course, the manager on their next inspection will go ahead and close that out. Oops, click too fast, sorry about that. Back to violations. Again, you can always see closed violations also. Void is this is just voided just because it's our test association, but most of them, once they have been resolved, it's gonna show closed. I can click into that. Messages, again, you're gonna see some communication. So you first get to see the email communication of the violation that was issued to that homeowner, but also if the homeowner did resolve the violation, you get to see a copy of that email saying, you know, we initially sent you this violation, but now that we know it's resolved, thank you for attending to this, and we've closed it out in your system. Next menu option is going to be work orders. This is where you'll see any work order that has been not only submitted by a homeowner, but by your property manager maybe. So homeowners do have the ability to submit work orders, whether it's unit specific, maybe for condos or common area. It usually goes to our customer service team and our property managers for them to see those requests first. But as board members, you're able to see that. So Michael did submit a request that all the pipes are burst and we need to get attention to this. You can send this over to the manager. Hey, Shari, please take care of this. High importance. You can send that message over to the manager. Again, you will be able to track any work orders that come into our system. There's going to be a more detailed report, but this is just live view of things. You can also see closed action items or work orders. For instance, Lisa submitted a work order saying that her bedroom fan is not working and she's hot. Well, we told Lisa that this is not an association's responsibility, so that's why we closed it out. And of course, communication was sent out to her, letting her know that this is not something the association would take care of. Again, you can add your columns, whether we've sent this work order to our mobile maintenance team, or maybe another party, Crabapple or whatever service provider, you can add that. And so you could search by maybe seeing, let me go over it right there, which service providers have open work orders for us. So as a manager, as we're adding these work orders, whether it's for Beacon Mobile Maintenance or maintenance team, or if it's a contracted provider that you may have, whether it's your landscaping company or a painting company that we've sent it over to, or your sprinkler company, those service providers will be listed right there once we tag them, that they now have the open work order right there for them. Board action items come, I'm not quite sure, and I put in a request for that not to be so at the bottom. But if you had any open board action items that's requiring your attention as a board, so that would be anything like an ARC request for those associations that require invoices to be approved, you would see that information right there of like a list. It's like your to-do list as a board of things that need your attention or your approval. And we're going to go to the last menu option, which is reports. Again, Michael kind of went over the importance of this, whether it's you're the treasurer, you're on the welcome committee, you just want to know and have reports at your fingertips, this is where you will go for that information. Under your financials menu is going to include almost every report that is included in your monthly financials. I'm going to go ahead and do my AR aging, so I'm going to view that. And I'm going to make that big so you can see it. I can see as much detail as possible. Maybe not as big so I can see my screen. So I can do it by process date. So as of January 31st, this is what I had. Maybe I want to go back and look at 2022. I'm just going to change that date. And at the bottom of my screen, right there where it says preview, I just click that and it's going to update information. I am able to sort by different methods. I can include previous owners if I wanted to. I can show 0 to 30, over 30 only assessments, or I want to show the breakdown. So again, I can see what's making up of that AR report that's already going to be included in your monthly financials. Maybe you wanted to take this information somewhere, so you want to download the, oops, wrong report. You want to download that report. If I do download PDF, it's going to open a PDF of the report, but it's going to have that like watermark that just says, you know, this financial data is not final because we still have our accountants go in and finalize information. Maybe a homeowner's payment balance isn't true because they made 3 payments on one account when it really should be on another account. Those adjustments get made before financials go out to the board. So that's why we have that information saying this information might not be final, but when you receive your monthly financials, that's the final report.
Sorry, can you go back to that AR report real quick?
Absolutely.
I think it's great that you pointed out the date range on there. So, you know, maybe you want to see, well, how did we do month over month? It's super easy to just grab that data. And then also, I did mention it at the beginning of the webinar this evening that the information is interactive. So if you hover over the numbers in the balances field, or if you hover over the type of charge. So many of our associations are going to have a lot more charge types than just those 3 that you see there. And you can zoom in or identify the specific unit. So maybe you've got a really weird small number on late fees, and this person owes 5 pennies, and that one, you know, $1.21, and you're cleaning up the AR report. You can go in and identify those and then, you know, make a request to either have those waived or whatever it might be. Maybe it's on a leasing fee. You want to see who are those people that owe the leasing fee. That'll be there. And you can just drill in on the information that you want. All of our reports are set up this way through the homeowner, or sorry, through the board portal. And as we look at them, we can talk about the different things. But that is one of the best features of Vantaca, is the interactive reporting.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Mike. I'm trying to see if there's anything else on this report. Other reports that we have maybe for homeowners is like an owner transfer report that just shows the new homeowners that have purchased, we have like specific information on there who the previous homeowner was. I'm going to assume that we don't really have much. I'm going to change my date range just so we can have more data. So I can see, go ahead.
And not only for the specifics of this presentation on changing the date range, but maybe for your annual meeting, you're preparing some data and you want to put how many homes were sold in 2022 versus 2021. You can pull that information here very easily and be able to put that into a presentation. It's a great report. And like Shari said, maybe the welcome committee, let me look at that on a monthly basis, see who I need to reach out to or some sort of social committee, et cetera.
Absolutely. I would get familiar with these reports again. For the treasurer, maybe the income statement is something that you want to check as, I don't know, throughout the month. That's absolutely fine. They are interactive. Again, this association is my test association, so the data I have in here is not going to be that much, but you're able to, again, if you can hover over any kind of amount, you get to see what makes up that amount. So for assessments, we know everyone got charged $250 for the month of January. If I had maybe more expense accounts, I might have something for December. I can see maybe what was made up on, no, I don't really have any information. But you can go and always click it.
That, sorry, yeah, your entire budget is going to be in there, and not only will it just be budgeted items, it's any items that you have a GL code for, and you'll know whether or not it's been budgeted, because out to the right-hand side, you'll see that as well is on that center column. So this is a great thing that we use as a tool when we're working on your budgets. If we go in and we see other R&M, for example, okay, it's $50,000 this year. How did we get to 50,000? Oh yeah, we had that huge playground improvement that's where we charged it to. Or we had a major electrical repair, that's what it went. Do we need to budget that going forward? So it's a great feature to look at. And it's very easy to understand what's happening in your community by understanding what money is being spent and with which vendors.
Awesome. Okay, so a couple other menu options. So just kind of finishing up on the reports, go in, play around with it. Again, clicking on view is what's going to open up your actual report for you to kind of change your view. I'm going to change that to 2022. Clicking preview updates that. Again, Mike was talking about the charts that get provided. I don't know why this shows like that. The charts that are generated, this kind of just helps showing you like what kind of requests are coming in. So for your ARCs, you have about 30% coming in for just basic exterior modifications. That may mean maybe someone wants to remove a tree or change the light fixtures or add a camera, or we can get specific where it's like your fences, your driveway, doors, painting. It just kind of gives you an overall view of what kind of requests are coming in. Again, you can also sort it by default, it sorts by everything, whether it's opened, approved, voided, whatever it may be, or you can say, I only want to look at completed, that were approved. I click on preview and I'll see only one fence application has come in for the past year and it was approved. Or I want to see what's approved and denied. You can filter it that way also.
Again, those summary pages that are available for each of those, whether it's work orders, violations, architectural reports, that is great information to share with your homeowners. If it's a quarterly meeting, or if it's an annual meeting, just so they know, the types of things that are happening in the community, and to be able to do a snippet of that and put it into a slide is really helpful, especially with violations. This is, we usually do the little pie chart and show by distribution, and then to be able to tell people we processed, 200 violations in a community with 550 homes over the year. These are the steps that they're in, and provide kind of that high level overview. It really demonstrates leadership with your community and helps people understand what's happening behind the scenes. So when you can provide that information, homeowners typically feel better and more confident in the board of directors, rather than challenging the board of directors or constantly wondering what's happening in their community. So it's great to be able to use this information through the portal to demonstrate that leadership.
I just want to make a note for the ARC and violation of work orders. Those reports are not necessarily going to match the information that you see right here, because again, if I click on the ARC right now, it separates it between opened and closed. Whereas in my report, I can see a little bit more of it depends on the parameters that I have it. So right now, I don't have anything. Was that my ARC that I just opened? I'm going to change the date, and you'll see how that kind of just changes as oh, I'm in the wrong report probably. It changes depending on like when the application was submitted, or oh, today's date. That's why it's not showing up. Preview. So we only had one that has come in for this month. Again, if I wanted to change the start date to a little bit further back, I don't know how further back I can go. Preview. That information is just going to change, of course, depending on the parameters that you put in for the report to go. So these menu options are kind of like, here's quick shots of what's currently opened. Then you can search into the closed previous ones, where this is more specific. If you want to put, I want to know over the past year or the past 60 days or 90 days, you have more control of those parameters and if it's opened or closed. So I want to go to two other menu options that homeowners have access to, but boards have a little bit more access to. So documents, everyone has access to documents, but certain folders have higher securities. So as board members, you will always have financials, and board financial packets will be your full board financial packets. Homeowners will only have access to the monthly financials that will show their balance sheet and income statement for that month. Where your monthly financials as a board, of course, has your AR report, AP, cash distribution, everything on their bank statements, everything that's on there. So get a little bit familiar with these documents and the folders that are there. You should have a bank statement folder. You'll have an invoice image folder that will show you all invoices that were paid within that month. You will see copies of every bank statement, reserves, if you have a loan or your regular operating bank statement. And the final one I want to highlight is calendar and events. Some associations have been asking for this, and if we do have it, we're testing it out with a lot of our associations. By default, every association has the community calendar, which is great. Maybe I want to put on here that we're going to have a Valentine's Day event. As a board member, you are able to double click and add an event for your community. Now, this is going to be just community-wide events that you can put in there. You can put your start time. So we want to start this at maybe 5 o'clock when everybody gets off, but we don't want to run it too late. So it's going to end at 8. You can change your security, or the category it's on. So we say this is a clubhouse event, and I want homeowners to see this. It's never going to repeat. It's just a party, and I can save that information. And now it's on the calendar. Again, this is for calendar community-wide events. Board members are able to add these events. You're also able to delete it. Maybe it was canceled. So if you want to put those, like maybe you're doing a community-wide yard sale or cleanup day or anything like that, you can add that. The feature that we're really excited about is the amenity calendars. And that is where homeowners are able to request, whether it's the clubhouse or book the tennis courts via the portal. So this association has a couple different features, and I kind of added a lot on one screen just so you guys can see it. We have some associations that use Rent My Court, and we have the ability, if we don't want to put it through Vantaca, you're able to just put a link right there. And I click on that link and it's going to take the homeowner directly to Rent Your Court, where you can go in, they log in and they access the normal portal as is. But through Vantaca, homeowners will be able to see any tentative or booked available dates. I'm going to go click on the month just so you can see what that looks like. I see something that says tentative. Maybe I want to specifically look for the party room. This would be equivalent to like your clubhouse. You can click on that. I see that it's still there. I'm going to go to agenda just so you can see what it looks like. It says that there's a tentative request from a homeowner for the 14th. Now, usually for events, whether it's like graduation dates or the holidays, where it's usually first come, first serve, and people are trying to pay, for us, some associations, events aren't confirmed until the money has been received. So what does it look like for a homeowner to reserve this? First thing first, we want them to come to the calendar to see what dates are available. So I noticed that the 18th is open. What I am able to do is go to new reservation request and click right there. If you have specific forms or a specific order for your association, and this is something that is built out per association, we are able to put those details right there. So this is specifically for the party room. I'm currently on Wednesday the 1st, which is today's date, but I went ahead and changed that to the 18th. I am only able to book the dates or the times that are available. So we have some clubhouses that may be closed every Monday because we have chess practice or yoga or something where no owners are able to book out Mondays. Or maybe we have specific hours. Events can't start before 8 a.m. and they all have to end by 11 p.m. I am able to put those hours into the system so homeowners cannot overbook those hours or go beyond the rules of the association. So at the bottom is where the form is going to be filled out. Event date, again, is going to be the 18th. I want my start time to be maybe 10 a.m. and end at 4 p.m. Reminder date is not something that's required, but our system automatically will send the homeowner a reminder of their events on the day that they select. Not only does it go to that homeowner, but it also goes to our social committee. If you are signed up as a social committee that needs to be notified of these events. And I'm gonna put, I'm a brunch girl, so brunch with the girls. And if any other details, again, if a form or application is required to be submitted, that is where that homeowner is able to upload that. Again, at the top is where we show them where that information or what's required to submit this request. Once they submit that request, oh, what did it tell me? I'm missing something. Action type required. I'm just gonna do it that way. There we go. As a homeowner, once my reservation was submitted, I get that request. I also see it on my items. So I can click on that. And I just see that my request has been submitted, and now it's up to our customer service team to kind of review, make sure that homeowner has a zero balance, make sure that, you know, maybe I have something else, but they wouldn't be able to submit that if another event was already booked. So I'm gonna go back to that amenity calendar and go to the month. Oh, there it was. And I see now that both the 14th and on the 18th, those items are tentative, not confirmed, but tentative. So our customer service team will come in on the back end, review this, receive payment from the homeowner, make sure everything is good. Again, we try and, some associations are different where there has to be a zero balance in order to book the clubhouse. If not, then that's fine. We try to just go in and make sure everything is good to go with that homeowner's account. So once that comes in and everything looks good, our customer service team at the end, there's automatic emails that go through to the homeowner, letting them know, you know, we received your payment, is everything good to go? Sorry. going to refresh the screen really quick. And right there, that association or party has now been approved and confirmed because that homeowner did make their payment via the portal, whether it's sending in a check or making a one-time payment. They've confirmed. Now, any homeowner that goes in and even tries to book that party room for the 18th will not be able to. That is something that we call for like a reservation or a request compared to a reservation. Tennis courts might be different, where I don't need customer service to approve and charge the homeowner's account. That process is a little bit different for the tennis courts. So if you have multiple tennis courts, we can label that like tennis court 1, tennis court 2, A, B, however you might have it, pickleball court, whatever it may be. Again, it will be by the time. So if they're not able to book it this early, we change the hours for that amenity and how long. Sometimes tennis courts, we don't want homeowners playing for more than 3 hours. It will tell you right there that only 2 hours are available for reservations. So a homeowner can put that in. I'm going to change that to the 2 hours. I don't need a reminder. I don't need any of that. I'm going to go ahead and submit that. And it says the request was successfully sent. If I go back to the calendar to look at it.
Or you might have a different tab open there.
Ah.
And I'll just bring this up as you're talking about that. If you don't have the reservation feature open in your portal, make sure that you're letting the property manager know that that's an important feature for you, so that they can coordinate that with the customer service representative to get that built out so that your homeowners can use it.
Correct. And I'm sorry about that. I didn't know that my share was on pause, so you probably missed a lot of what I did. But again, I can quickly go over that. Or again, when building this out, I like to try to get as much information from the board of how they would like it done. There's certain limitations that we have that I'm working with Vantaca to get that fixed. For instance, a homeowner makes a tennis court reservation, they're not able to cancel it. They will have to contact our customer service team to cancel it. So those are little things that they're still working on trying to perfect, but at least a homeowner can go in and do that. So I'm just, hopefully you guys saw the majority of what happened. But again, just going to the calendar, going to amenity calendars, you can make as many different amenities that you want. Pickleball, for instance, we have 2 different courts. So homeowners, there has to be some kind of identification for the homeowners to know if it's court 1 or court 2, and in order to make a new reservation. And again, courts are kind of different from clubhouse reservations because there's usually a fee associated with that clubhouse reservation, or we want to make sure that their homeowner has a 0 balance for us to actually approve that application or that request. So again, depending on the hours that you have, the days, if it's not available to be reserved maybe every Wednesday for cleaning, we can turn that off so Wednesdays aren't available. Blocks, meaning if it's only available for 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours at a time, or preventing homeowners to double book, meaning if it's a 2-hour reservation max, they won't be able to reserve it twice in one day, basically. So those are some kind of features that we have. We've tested it out again with multiple of our associations. There's some imperfections that we're trying to fix with Vantaca, but if it's something that you are interested in, reach out to your community manager or your assigned CSR, and we'll schedule some time to build it out to your current procedure. So that was a mouthful. I think we have a bunch of questions, so let's go
sorry,
through that.
If you don't mind, I'll start with some of those, and maybe these are some things that you can specifically answer. It relates to the facility reservation. What's a typical response time that a homeowner might receive to whether their reservation has been confirmed or received?
Usually within 24 to 48 hours. For our customer service team, or priorities are, or ARC requests, because there is a time limit on that, and or reservations. I know, again, with it being first come, first serve, those are 2 of the top things that our team tackles first thing in the morning. So they should be able to get that information almost immediately.
Okay, and this question came up a couple of times during the presentation, but are board members able to submit a violation through the portal?
I will say yes and no. It's not going to specifically be straight to the manager violation, but as a homeowner, you can submit a request. And what we usually have homeowners do is go to general request and then put in maybe general question. And then at that point you can say violation. Unfortunately, it's not going to be board specific. But you can put it right there. Sorry about that. And then you can also add images for that violation, maybe if you wanted to put that in. And then our team will come in and see this. And then what they will do is transfer that action item from your portal and turn it into a violation for that homeowner. But usually email is better, just to send it directly to our team so they can get it immediately and issued out to the homeowner.
Perfect. Thank you, Shari. And this is a specific question, but I think it applies to all of the action items. But when an ARC request is submitted, is there a specific email that goes to a responsible party to notify them of that? That could also be with a reservation or with another board item.
Yes, so a lot of our action items, excuse me, do have automatic emails that go out. So if as a homeowner, you do get an email confirmation that we've received it. If you are on the ARC committee, you do get a notification letting you know that an application has been submitted. If you require invoices to be approved, you get an email. I'm going to kind of pop up. Give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to just quickly open up some emails so you can see what these look like.
So obviously really important ones of those are the social committee, people that are identified for that. So if there are reservations that need to be approved, and then also with the architectural requests, those are typically time sensitive as well.
Absolutely.
And that the ARC committee gets those as soon as they're ready for review.
Absolutely. So this is like telling the homeowner that they've confirmation that we've received it. This one is telling us confirmation of the clubhouse reservation, that your application is being reviewed, that they will get confirmation once it is, that my request for the tennis courts has been confirmed. Yeah, all that email communication does come out immediately or as the action item progresses, depending on the stages or steps, whether approved or denied, the communication does go out.
There was a question to a couple of questions related to the homeowner action item screen. One of them was, is there a way to see the percentage of ownership under the homeowner listing?
Yes. There'll be a column specifically, scroll all the way down there, percentage of ownership.
Okay, so that's set up for your community. It could be based on billing and how it's set up for that, but you would be able to see that information if it is set up for that particular billing. That's something that has to be built out for a specific reason. That's not going to be something that is
automatically just
client-wide for all of our associations. Right. Another question for this particular screen, Shari, is there a way to sort those columns in the order that you want them? So for example, if you want the email address next to the
no.
Okay.
There was a point in time where you could do that, and I've requested that back from them, but they haven't made that enhancement yet where I can put it in order of how I want to see it. I've just noticed it goes however Vantaca puts it into the system.
And I think I know the answer to this, but for the margins of the page, is there a way to reduce that column to the left to allow more of a field for your columns in a particular action item?
Unfortunately, no.
So for the person that asked that question, if you think about it from an export level or maybe reducing the amount of columns that you have, that might be helpful for you when you're reviewing particular information that you really care about. You might reduce it to the specific columns that you want to see.
Absolutely.
There was another question, do board members have the ability to send any sort of broadcast communication through the portal?
At this moment, no. It all
Okay,
has to
and then
go through the management team.
a question that might help with this, but when you did the calendar and you went in and you created a particular event, is there any notification that goes out when we select that a homeowner can see that?
No.
Okay, so you don't have the ability to send the broadcast communication, but at least you have the ability to put something on a calendar where somebody might see it. And then if you need a broadcast communication sent out, certainly let your customer service representative know or your property manager know to make sure that they can get that done as quickly as possible. Obviously, if it's urgent, you want to make that phone call to our corporate office or to the property manager directly to make sure that that gets done. There's a question. It is an email notification sent to the ARC committee. I think we covered that, but yes, an email communication does go directly to the ARC committee, letting them know that it's ready for approval.
Yeah, see right there, you'll see a copy of the email. This is a copy of what the email looks like, letting them know that there's a new application submitted. And again, a copy of the email that's sent to the homeowner, letting them know we've received their application is also there.
Shari, this question is interesting and very specific, but is there a way to enter unique data such as the location of a shutoff valve for a particular group of homeowners?
Not on the homeowner or board side. We can add that internally under homeowner notes where we can put that there again, or if it's a tag, maybe we want to communicate with all owners that have a water shut off at the back right of their unit. I don't know, maybe that's something that we can add as a tag. You can do that also, but for the most part, that's going to be back end data that we put in as a management team.
Going through a couple of things here. I'll let you answer this, Shari, but for invoice approvals, is there a way to send approvals to the board if it meets a particular threshold amount?
Absolutely. That's something that just needs to be sent over to me. It could have a certain threshold or a certain account. We have one association that specifically anything that comes out of this building reserves account, that goes to the board approval. So we can get that specific, or to the point where it's only a vendor of a certain amount needs to get board approval. We can set that up. So if you just email me or your community manager, we can get that set up for you.
Perfect. And just looking through here to see if we've got any additional questions. And you know, again, we understand that a lot of our communities have just had their annual meeting. So of course, if you need access or some additional training, I know our customer service team is great at explaining that, as well as our property managers. And then of course, regional managers, myself, Shari, we're always available to help out any way that we can to make sure that you know how to get this information yourself.
Right. I know last year we did have a homeowner version of this, which we are planning on doing again. It helps for the homeowners to know how to use the system, not only as the board, but homeowners use this, whether it's just coming in to make a payment or how to submit an ARC request or just a general request. Using that information helps. I know there's certain features that I've requested from Vantaca, for instance. This red button or 8 items doesn't necessarily mean I have 8 unread items. It's just 8 items that eventually, once the action item has been taken care of, it goes away. They do auto archive after 30 days. Not saying that it completely goes away. We as the management company still have access to those action items, but it would be nice that if there's a read or unread kind of thing, that number eventually does go away. We do have the ability, we have some associations where homeowners own multiple units, whether it's in the same association or multiple associations that we manage, we're able to merge your account, meaning you'll have access, one login, and have access to however many accounts that you own. The thing with that is it does have to be listed, the names on the deed for both units have to be the same in order for us to merge those accounts. So there's little things, but we're able to, like, one login if you own 4 units. It makes it a little bit easier to make those payments.
All right, well, these have been some really good questions, and Shari, I appreciate you going through the portal. It's really helpful. Again, this was kind of a high level overview of the entire portal where Shari's shown you the different features, but if you need some additional training or you've got additional questions, again, we'll always make ourselves available to you to make sure that you have that information. So thank you again for joining, everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.